Oh, yeah. Happy Saturday, everybody. Happy Super Bout Saturday. Week 1 of 3 of our 3-week blockbuster anniversary spectacular. Super Bout 3. Week 1 is in the books. And give you guys just a second to log in here, and we will talk all about it from top to bottom. It was absolutely loaded. 2 big championship matches and a lot of shocking surprises that we never thought that we would see, or at least I didn't think that we'd ever see it. But what an episode. That's week 1 of 3 at Super Bout 3. I am Dustin Starr, and let's talk all about it. What's up, Rico? How are you? It seemed like everybody in the live chat really enjoyed today's episode. Don't forget that immediately following this live reaction, you can watch and listen to Rollin' into Memphis. It's a full recap show. It reviews and recaps the entire episode. And I know that Brian Trammell said that this was the best episode of Memphis Wrestling out of all 158 of them. I don't know if I can disagree. I don't know if I can agree, but I do think it was a very, very good episode with a lot of shocking details. The return of Derek King in today's main event as Ray Sanders' tag team partner, getting their rematch. And, DK had been away for just a while, making his triumphant return, only for a misfire to happen in the closing moments of the match. Super kick to Ray's face, causing the retain of the championship belts from Lord Gaston and Sir Matthew. And also in the opening contest, one of the biggest matches, MKZ defending the Memphis Wrestling women's title against one of her friends, Cassandra Golden, who is also a former women's champion. But it wasn't the outcome of the match that I'm really shocked about, because it could have been either woman's victory there, right? MKZ, Cassandra Golden. But then what happened after the match with the shocking attack, and nobody knows why Cassandra Golden attacked Mackenzie Morgan, but it did look like it was a little bit of bad sportswomanship from Cassandra Golden. So hopefully these stories will unfold as Super Bout continues. I want to remind you guys that next Sunday at the Wrestle Center, you can join us live. It is the return of the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer. Also, Reality of Wrestling champion Will All Day returns to Memphis, but just added to the card is Cowboy James Storm. 3 huge feature attractions coming along with the stars of Memphis Wrestling. Go to memphiswrestling.tv and get those tickets. If you use the code word Archer at checkout, you will save $5. And that's next Sunday at the Wrestle Center, March 10th. Now, this Sunday, if you're watching AEW Revolution and you're going to watch Sting's last match, then you need to come to Dave & Buster's in Memphis and watch it with me. It's absolutely free. Plus, I'm going to have free power cards for you to play games. That's $10 power cards, absolutely free for you and your family to play games while we watch AEW Revolution. It is free at Dave & Buster's in Memphis. Brian, what's up? He says another great episode, one of the best. Rico says, Dustin, I hate to say Cassandra turning on MKZ isn't surprising since she was in Memphis Wrestling since episode 1. Well, since episode 1, she has never shown that side of Cassandra Golden, so I'm absolutely shocked. I know some people said that they called it. I never would have thought that we would be booing Cassandra Golden of all people. William Banks says, what happened this week, Dustin? What do you mean what happened? William says, great show. Rico says the championship belts can be ruined. Friendships can ruin friendships in pro wrestling. We've seen that time and time again, but this one seems a little different. Cassandra Golden, I never thought would turn to the bad side. Terrence Ward's in the house. I know that he's looking at that pamphlet and going to join the Righteous Path, who, by the way, were just shockingly victorious today. And just when you thought that Big John Dalton was going to get a little retribution and finally get his hands on Reverend Ash Taylor, apparently there is a new member of the Righteous Path, and I still don't know who the heck it is. Terrence Ward said, what a heck of an episode today. Big shout out to T Ward for those graphics, the new open, the whole 9 yards. Terrence Ward and T Ward Media is the man. Patrick says, great show, Dustin. Thanks, Patrick. You always have questions. Go ahead and hit me with them. Eddie Kane, Maine. He said, my administration fee for the week, one for Super Bout 3, donated $5. If anybody wants to donate, just like Eddie Kane, Maine, we do not just put that money right in our pockets. We put that money into the form of tickets for those who need it, whether it's kids or adults who don't have the funds to come see Memphis Wrestling live. That's what we do, is we buy tickets with that money, and we give those tickets away. So Eddie Kane Main, thank you so much. Anybody that wants to follow in Eddie Kane Main's footsteps, go ahead and join the members only. It's only $3.99 a month. You get exclusive content, Memphis wrestling emojis, championship badges, and you get to watch the episode early. And I think nearly every single member of our members only watched early. And thank you guys for not ever shooting out any spoilers during our live chat. So big shout out, Eddie Kane Man, you the man. $5 donation there. What did you think of SUPERBOUT III, Eddie Kane Man? Robert says, hi, Dustin. Cassandra Golden will wrestle tonight on Collision. Yes, Thunder Rosa versus Cassandra Golden. Good job, Memphis Wrestling, holding strong and getting on the national spotlight. And stay tuned, because I don't know if you saw this or not, but the big man, the master of Fat Jitsu, K Toomer, and the genetic nightmare, Mike Anthony, are headed to Reality of Wrestling with Booker T coming up on March the 9th. So get those tickets and enjoy Memphis Wrestling invading Reality of Wrestling. And then also Will Allday, the top guy at Reality of Wrestling over at Booker T's. He's coming to Memphis Wrestling as well. Can't wait to see Cassandra Golden on Collision, and I hope she gets her butt kicked. Patrick says, how long has Derek King been wrestling? Over 20 years. I've got 25 years in the business, and he was there before me. Mark Posey's in the house. He said, it's good to see you yesterday. I went to Madonna Learning Center and read for Read Across America, and also had to go hit up my boys, Mark and Brody, who I think I'm looking for Brody over here. He was in the live chat. Mark, if you and Brody can make it to Dave & Buster's, come watch Revolution with me. It's absolutely free. I'm going to text your parents and see if that can happen. Terrence Ward with the rolling eye emoji. I know what that's about, the righteous path. William Banks, I mean, I'm shocked at the outcomes, especially Cassandra Golden. It was not a good day for all of our good guys and good girls of Memphis Wrestling. What the hell? Keith says RIP to Ole Anderson and Virgil. Yes, I echo that sentiment as well. Brian says BJD, what a day for Big John Dalton. He cleared out the shadows a couple of weeks ago, took care of Brother Bruce, took care of Righteous Ryan, and just too many numbers. Who would have thought that there would be somebody else? Old School Dave says, looking good. Look at this. Last night I was hosting the Memphis Grizzlies game and Grizz's birthday, and tonight I'm back hosting once again. Memphis Redbird startup on March 29th. And then also you can come see us at AutoZone Park, Memphis Wrestling, and it's wrestling night coming up on June 22nd. Also, it's going to be announced this Monday, and you guys are hearing it right here first. We are going to be in Little Rock, Arkansas for wrestling night with the Arkansas Travelers at the ball field. It is going to be on 4/20. And then, of course, Buff Bagwell is coming on 4/21. So be on the lookout for those tickets. We cannot wait to be working with the Arkansas Travelers, the Memphis Redbirds, and, of course, the Memphis Grizzlies coming up very, very soon. Rico says, big misfire between DK and Ray Ray. I'll say that super kick knocked Ray Ray right out. People are saying, is DK and Ray Ray going to split up? I don't think that's happening, but it all depends on how Ray Ray Sanders, how he reacts to this. Will Derek King apologize? Was it an accident? I believe it was, but we'll see. Eddie Kane, man, always using those emoji cons the right way, especially in the live chat. Andrew says, hi, Dustin, love you. You are awesome. Thank you so much, Andrew. I appreciate it. Check this out, Media M5 with a $10 donation. Please use for ticks. Also love the outcomes of this episode, especially Golden's. Ha, ha, ha. Media M5, you might be the only one that likes the outcome, especially Cassandra Golden. But thank you so much for the $10 donation. And again, you guys don't have to donate $5 or $10. I think you can donate as little as $150. So every little bit helps. We really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Media M5. Rico says, I'm excited for WWE 2K24, the video game. It's kind of cool how they're putting all the attributes and the overall performance value of the wrestlers on Raw and SmackDown. Robert says, Dustin, who do you pick for the triple threat world title match at Revolution? I would love to see Swerve Strickland take this thing, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think Samoa Joe is going to retain because the other two can't, they cost each other or whatever. And then maybe we'll see Swerve Strickland one-on-one with Samoa Joe. But also that makes booking pretty logical. So I would say maybe Swerve Strickland is going to go home with the title. What do you guys think? I will be there watching live at Dave & Buster's with 100 ounces of beer as I drink. Andrew says, hi, Dustin. I'm happy with my girl MKZ retaining the Memphis Wrestling Women's Championship, but not happy that Cassandra Golden turned on her and attacked her after the match. How about you? I never thought that I would say that Cassandra Golden turned on MKZ, especially what happened before with Nyx turning on both Cassandra and MKZ. So there's definitely something on the mind of Cassandra Golden. I don't want to look too much into it until we talk to her, but in the coming weeks on Memphis Wrestling, and actually I would say a good place to start is next Sunday, March 10th at the Wrestle Center. If you want to be the first to know, you need to get those tickets at memphiswrestling.tv. And I'm not just being some snake salesman. What is it called? A snake oil salesman or a used car salesman. If you don't get your tickets early, you're not going to have tickets. We sold every single seat for SUPERBOUT III, and we have been red hot because of you guys. And man, it's fun to be in the world of professional wrestling right now. WWE is absolutely on fire. The Rock is returning to Memphis, Tennessee at FedEx Forum coming up on Friday, March 15th. Get those tickets at FedEx Forum box office or Ticketmaster.com. If you do not get those tickets, they will be sold. Cannot wait. We've got a handful of talent that's going to be there performing on behalf of Memphis Wrestling along with WWE SmackDown. But yes, Cassandra Golden is on Collision tonight. I was not a fan of what she did to MKZ. Sylvester says, I'm baffled about Cassandra's heel turn. She was all about fair play, but not like this. Well, maybe she still is. Maybe she just had a moment. Maybe she's just a sore loser. I mean, it happens. You saw Patrick Mahomes being a sore loser before he won the Super Bowl, obviously, but earlier in the season. So, I mean, it could happen to the very best of the best. Rico Dawson, also Chris Danger, so far has only had one match. It was against Sean Spears at Deadlock Pro Wrestling, but I also watch his YouTube content. Chris Danger's only had one match? Well, why would we book him for TV if he's only had one match? Patrick Moore says, unfortunately, you can't book FTR, but are there any other tag teams that you'd like to bring in? FTR would top the list. I am in communication with them, so they said they're not taking any outside bookings right now. So when they are taking bookings, I would imagine that you'll probably see FTR at some point with Memphis Wrestling. But another tag team that I would like to bring in, off the top of my head, no. I would like Chris Harris to come with Cowboy James Storm so we could have America's Most Wanted. That would be pretty cool. Are there any tag teams that you guys think we should bring in? Peter says DK turns on Ray Ray and reunites with Cassandra Golden. Oh my gosh. Were they ever they weren't together, but I still see what you're saying. Keith says, what a miscue on the super kick by Derek. It was unintentional. And I agree. It was unintentional. DK, I didn't think Cassandra would do it, but there's no way DK would turn and super kick his own student. Because if you remember correctly, Derek trained Ray Sanders, a very good mentor to Ray. Andrew says, hi, Dustin. What match are you excited to see on AEW Revolution tomorrow night? I want to see the women's title match. Can't wait to see Toni Storm in action. I think she's one of the best things that they have going there. Also, I'd like to see the world title match. I'd like to see if Samoa Joe is going to retain that bad boy or not. Coley says, what's going on with Cassandra Golden? What the F? Coley, I totally agree with you. I'm a Cassandra Golden fan, and I'm going to keep trying to be, but I cannot wait to see what was behind this. William says, any chance you can get Brian Armstrong to stop in? Yeah, absolutely. And I believe he's under contract with WWE, so it might be a little difficult. And you guys have to remember, a lot of these guys and gals do not have to do these bookings. So somebody like Road Dogg, for instance, he probably maybe can accept bookings, but why would he? Why would he take one of his days off with his family to come make an appearance at Memphis Wrestling? Some will, but some don't. So you have to keep that in mind. These guys and gals are getting paid by a major company. And like even Brian Cage, he doesn't like to leave the house unless he's going to have an absolute banger of a match. That's how he got the match with Mike Anthony. So they don't necessarily have to do it, but I would love to see Road Dogg here. Coley says Cody Rhodes is going to hunt the bloodline. I think Cody's going to be super successful coming up at WrestleMania. Keith says good luck to Sting tomorrow. Yes, can't wait to see Sting's last match. I cannot imagine Sting winning his last match. Rico says, Derek King was a heel for a time, and maybe it was an accident or maybe it was intentional. I don't know, but we'll see. Media M5 says, no problem. Love helping when I can. Hope to rehab so I can venture to Memphis for a summer trip. Well, come on. Cook says, do you think you or Terrence could ever turn on each other? It could happen. You know what? Terrence Ward is kind of a heel. Now, I know what you're thinking. So am I. And you're probably right. But Terrence Ward, I would love to see heel Terrence. And the looks and the things that I would have to say to Terrence. And if he's in here, he knows exactly what I'm talking about. Coley said, this is one turn on This is one turn on a hell main event. Okay. Rico says, Dustin, do you have advice for pro wrestling conditioning? I'm having trouble with that. Man, you got to take the bumps. You got to do the drills. You got to run the ropes. Drill, drill, drill. There is nothing, not a cardio machine, not a Stairmaster, not a bike, not a treadmill. Nothing will get you in ring shape other than being in the ring. Ray Sanders put our Wrestle Center crew through a workout this week that he learned at New Japan Pro Wrestling Dojo, and it was awesome. We had two actually throwing up before the workout was even done. So that's how you get in ring shape. Is you gotta drill. Andrew says, hi, Dustin. I love Sting and followed his career a long time. Me too. Red, white, and blue Sting is my favorite. Hope he ends his career on a high note at AEW Revolution tomorrow night with Darby Allin. How about you? I would love to see Darby Allin turn on Sting. There, I said it. Patrick says, wrestling is healthy at the moment. Would you agree? Absolutely. When WWE is selling out even their non-televised events, then things are going really, really well. Also, not to mention, the TD Garden is nearly sold out for the Sasha Banks. AEW, they have a lot of misses that they do as far as attendance figures, but they're hitting off on some of them. And I know the Revolution is going to be absolutely jam-packed. And then also the TD Garden in Boston for Sasha Banks. All right, let's see. You put on an online petition for Blaylock suspension. That is coming up very soon. Wait, it's happening on SUPERBOUT. Jimmy Blaylock, stay tuned. We've already announced that his contract is on the line, so we'll see. Media M5, agree on the Danger One match aspect. Not enough experience, even with the following. As you said, outsiders have to bring insiders. That's right. So just so you guys know, I'm not throwing any shade. I mean, there's a lot of names that we discuss, but if you pay between $500 to $1,000 for a flight, and then whatever a hotel costs. I mean, even with our good rate, it's still over $100. And then you pay them a fee as well. So maybe you're $1,200 to $1,500, $1,300 already out of pocket. And if that talent is not going to sell any tickets or any merchandise, then basically you should just set that money on fire. So when you send your little dollar bills out, they should come back with a whole lot more following them. And so I'm not throwing shade. That's business. So Media M5, yeah, you have to have a return on that investment. Patrick says, I can think of a few TMDK would be interested. Don't know what that means. Help me out, Patrick. What does that mean? Starlin said, y'all should have a steel cage match. Yes, there's no way to put the steel cage inside the building. So if we do, it wouldn't be inside the Wrestle Center, I don't think. Brian says, K-Tumor and ROW win. It's coming up at their big Rumble on March the 9th. It's live in Houston. And Eddie Kane, man, coming through again with $5. Bring the American Males Tag Team, Buff Bagwell and Scotty Riggs. Eddie Kane, man, you might be a freaking genius. Buff Bagwell is all in the news right now, all over the internet. Him and Scotty Riggs. Also, his Dark Side of the Ring episode is going to air, I think, in March or April. So we've got Buff Daddy coming April 21st. I cannot wait. Buff's going to be absolutely on fire. I know that he just had surgery, but he's recovering very, very well. Buff Bagwell, April 21st. Tickets are on sale right now, memphiswrestling.tv. Thank you so much, Eddie Kane, Main, for the $5. There's going to be some people that are real happy. But hopefully they can shout you out as well. Media M5 says, I still think one day you get in there and beat up other wrestling legend as you did in the past. Media M5, I might beat somebody up, but I don't know about wrestling anymore. Hosting and promoting and doing all that stuff is probably what I should have been doing the whole time. Keith says, can't wait for the world title triple threat at Revolution. Rico says, I remember you said you'd really like to book Brian Cage versus Lance Archer. That would be a brawl to watch. Yes, we had to have special permission from Tony Khan to make that happen, and I do not think that the permission was granted. Peter says, who is the lady that came to the ring with DK and Van Vicious during the first season of Memphis Wrestling? I'm not sure, but she is no longer with Memphis Wrestling, Peter. Brody, my man, says, hey, I'm here, guys. Great as always. Thanks, Brody. Always good to see you, partner. I'm going to try to text your dad later, see if you guys can come out and watch some wrestling tomorrow at Dave & Buster's. Media M5 says, heel Dustin over heel Terrence. Dustin was a combo of a few great young Memphis talents. Oh, my gosh. Who are that? Who's that combo? And you guys think that I'm a bigger heel than Terrence Ward would be? Coley says, whatever happened next week. I I don't know if I understand that question, but next week the card is absolutely loaded. The Internet Championship will be on the line next week, and I can't wait. I would run down the card, but I think we should kind of keep it a surprise. Brody says, what do you think about The Rock coming to SmackDown in Memphis? I can't wait to see that on TV. Oh, my gosh, I can't wait to see it in person. Finally, The Rock is returning to Memphis, and I think he might sing a couple of Elvis songs, too. The place is going to be sold out. If you don't have tickets, you might be too late. Go to FedEx Forum box office or Ticketmaster.com. Can't wait for The Rock to be back. Andrea says, hi, Dustin. I didn't like seeing Dakota Kai turn on Bayley last night on SmackDown. How about you? I think that was obvious. I thought that turn was going to be very, very obvious. So now Bayley has her back up against the wall, and she has no friends. Starlin said, y'all should have Poppin' EJ Sparks come back. Yeah, we've had EJ before. EJ's from out in Arizona. You can actually catch him on Derby City Wrestling and United Wrestling Network's Championship Wrestling, which both of those premiere tomorrow at noon and 1 o'clock. And then there's some other Memphis wrestling videos that are going to hit at 2 o'clock. So be sure to keep your eyes open. If you do not subscribe, go ahead and take that subscribe button to Slap City. Turn those notifications on. Rico says, I hope I can use the reverse DDT as my finisher. I also would want a tribute to Sting. He was one of my favorites when I was watching TNA. Yes, I love Sting. Red, white, and blue Sting back in, I believe, 1990. His big return. I think it was the Great American Bash. That was my favorite one. Coley says, is TNA Wrestling in trouble? I think TNA Wrestling is hotter than they've ever been. Might be in a little trouble by firing the guy that made it all happen, but I think there's more to that story. Arturo says, hey, Dustin, long time no see, my friend. What's up? Welcome back, man. Where you been? Patrick says, I was talking about TMDK, the team of Shane Haste and Bad Dude Tito. I do like Bad Dude Tito. Buddy Jones says, Cassandra broke my heart. Beginning of the golden era. Oh, I like that. Great show. Buddy Jones, I can't wait to see you guys next Sunday at the Wrestle Center. Cowboy James Storm's going to be in the house along with the Murder Hawk Monster, Lance Archer, and Will Allday. And, of course, all your favorites from Memphis Wrestling. Cook says, just watch DDP's video on Buff and Scotty Riggs. Awesome stuff. Brought a tear to my eye. I know a couple other guys that were actually bawling like babies, I'm sure. Rico said, from the banquet hall to the Wrestle Center, man, Memphis Wrestling is just too sweet. Appreciate that, Rico. Man, it has been a fun, wild, and crazy ride. If you guys knew what was going on behind the scenes every day, you'd say, Dustin Starr, why the hell are you doing it? Walter says, hi, Dustin. Good Memphis Wrestling. I watch it. Thank you, Walter. I really appreciate it. If you like this week, you're really going to like next week. Brody says, well, I don't think that's going to happen because my parents are going to be out of the country on Thursday, so maybe next time. Okay, well, I'll take that rain check from you, Brody. What's up, Ronald? How are you? Brian says, Boz might be in trouble next week. Well, the last time we saw Boz, he was in a lot of trouble. Where were they taping SmackDown from? Anyone know? Where were they taping SmackDown? So SmackDown's in Dallas next week, and then I think they were in Arizona last night, and then they're going to be in Memphis coming up on March the 15th. Patrick Bell. What's going on? Dustin, been busy? I've been really busy. Rico says, Dustin, I still couldn't believe the time y'all fit a wrestling ring at freaking Dave and Buster's, and we would be doing it again, but apparently the higher-ups are a little concerned, so stay tuned. I'm trying to get that approved again, but Dave and Buster's is the place to be tomorrow at Revolution. Arturo says, I've been busy doing tree work, and I'm getting my strength up, and it was ultimate crunch time and an ultimate muscle buster for me at a wrestling boot camp. Man, awesome. Well, good luck on that, Arturo. Terrence War said, we should clarify that the new video package is just for SUPERBOUT. Okay, Terrence says that the video packages that you're seeing in the intro is just for SUPERBOUT. So it's a standalone Memphis Wrestling special. So stay tuned. Brody says, hey, Dustin, did you see my comment in the chat about me and Mark going up against Psycho Simon? We definitely take him on any day. Well, you guys definitely have the speed on him, I'll tell you that. Because, man, big old Simon just stalking around the ring, and poor Michael just ate a 300-plus pound elbow drop and absolutely crushed Michael. Simon has been reinstated in Memphis Wrestling, and guys, I think he's gone psycho. Dude's lost his mind. Yeah, Brody and Mark, I think I'd stay away from Psycho Simon if I was you. Starlin said, EJ Sparks is one of the greatest tag team wrestlers ever. He has like 3 different tag team titles right now. I did not know that, Starlin, but I'm a big EJ Sparks fan. Andrew says, hi, Dustin. I'm happy that Big John Dalton dominated the righteous path, but not happy that he didn't get his hands on Reverend Ashhole Taylor. How about you? Who was in the red mask? I have no idea. But stay tuned on Memphis Wrestling, and we're going to find out. And I hate it more than anybody that Big John Dalton didn't get his hands on the righteous trash. Terrence Ward, many of our annual events will have their own theme songs and graphics. Big shout out to our main man, Terrence Ward. Who was the mask dude? I have no idea, but the righteous path has gotten stronger. Patrick says, you do a great job as a promoter. Would you have advice for other promoters? Yes. Do your thing, man. Don't worry about anybody else. I don't care what's going on down the street. I don't care what's going on in the other state. We are going to do what we do to the best of our ability, no matter what. Stay in your lane, bro. Nobody cares. Do your thing. That will be my advice for other promoters and promotions. Rico says, I said Reverend Ash Taylor is Memphis Wrestling's Bray Wyatt. It seems that he studies him. Man, I just don't see the comparison other than that the Wyatt family was a group and the Righteous Path is a group. I look at Reverend Ash Hole more like brother love. Brody says, yeah, me too, because that's the other guy that when you reference a guy on his knees and open up his hands and pray, kind of freaked me out just a little bit. Yeah, especially with that crazy mask. Rico says, hey, Dustin, will the Wrestle Center have green screens? We do have a green screen. Is that the question? Yeah, we've got a green screen. It's painted right on the wall. Terrence says, keep the blinders on about what other folks are doing. Yeah, why would you ever worry about what somebody else is doing, especially running your mouth and stuff? Why would you ever do that? That seems silly. Do your own thing, and that's what Memphis Wrestling is doing. Arturo says next week, can you call the righteous path the wrongful path? Reverend Ash Taylor and his goons are dead men. They look pretty strong today, and as I said on the broadcast, they seem to be getting stronger. Andrea says, hi, Dustin. I love Will Ospreay, and I'm glad that he signed with AEW. How about you? Doesn't really turn the needle for me, guys. I am sorry. I don't know enough about Will Ospreay, but I'll be perfectly honest with you. Didn't know a lot about Kenny Omega before his AEW debut and everything. So I guess I'm just so busy focusing on what I'm doing that it's hard to seek out and see what the hubbub is all about, so to speak. So I've seen Will Ospreay a handful of times. I look forward to seeing more of him, but I'm not surprised that WWE didn't sign him. I'm not surprised about a lot of stuff that WWE does or doesn't do, because I seem to agree with them on a lot of the stuff, including Will Ospreay. Starlin, I think it was Lance Archer in the mask. I don't think so, Starlin. Lance Archer, it's a big guy in the mask, but Lance Archer is huge. Patrick Moore, agree. I hate it when promotions try to copy each other. And what do you think? Yeah, I mean, that happens all the time. I mean, I won't give any examples, but I feel like that in many ways we have shown others how to do it, and they think it's easy, and it's really not. But yeah, I mean, copying someone is the biggest form of flattery, I guess. Buddy Jones, I guarantee you there's no payoff in Sting's last match, but I'll see y'all tomorrow night. Buddy, are you coming to Dave & Buster's? Because if you are, we finally get to drink beer together. Eddie Kane Man says, T-Ward Media, truth, brother. Oh, yeah. Willie says, I'm shocked Cassandra Golden turned. Andrea says, I hope Tim Bosby retains the Memphis Wrestling Internet Championship and destroys Aaron Roberts. How about you? I would love to see somebody finally put the problem child in their place, and I can't wait to see it. Brody says, okay, be honest. Big John Dalton, I am really proud of him because he kept trying so hard until the Reverend came out there. So props to my boy, JD. Me too. Nicely done, Big John Dalton. It's hard enough to get one victory in Memphis Wrestling, but he did 2 in a row. He beat, 3 or 4 of the Shadows all by himself a couple of weeks ago. But, man, the numbers just catch up to you. Rico says, I hope AEW doesn't end up like WCW. Patrick says, wait, it's 3 shows under Memphis Wrestling. It's 3 shows under Memphis Wrestling. I don't think I follow you on that one, Patrick. Let me scroll up. Patrick Bell. 3 shows under Memphis Wrestling. Who is the Mass Dudes? Okay, I'm not sure what you're referring to. Brian says the Boss will lose next week. Wow. I don't think anybody's ever said that. Patrick says, do you get to watch wrestling in your schedule? Yes, I try to watch as much wrestling as I possibly can. I saw a lot of Raw, saw a lot of SmackDown, 40-minute Rock promo nearly. Try to watch AEW. It's fun. Stories suck, but it's fun to watch. Rico says it could be cool to see maybe the Hardy Boys in the Wrestle Center. Yeah, the Hardy Boys have a huge price tag, but I'd love to see them. Brody Rockstar says, do you know how old he is? He's got to be 19 at least. Big John Dalton just turned 18 years old. Arturo says my money's on the Boss to retain his championship. I think I like the Boss's chances here, although he did eat some problem bombs a couple of weeks ago. Starland says, I think you should try to get Chris Masters. All right, we've already done that. Go back and check out the archives. Chris Masters with the Master Lock Challenge also had a match. We have had Chris Masters in the house. Patrick Bell says, like with Derby City Wrestling, I forgot the other show. Derby City Wrestling and United Wrestling Network's Championship Wrestling. Those both air right here tomorrow on this YouTube channel. We'd have to do a pay-per-view at a bigger venue if you booked the Hardy Boys. Yeah, the Hardy Boys are probably a good $20,000 all in together with travel and flight and everything. So, yeah, we'd have to find a way to multiply the Wrestle Center revenue by, like, I don't know, 20. Yeah, it'd be pretty tough to put the Hardy Boys in the Wrestle Center. We'd probably have to put them somewhere else. Brody says, and also, how was the game last night? Did Grizz have a good time on his birthday? Yes. If you guys missed it, it was Grizz's birthday. I was fortunate enough to be there hosting the party with him. He had some of his mascot friends in town, and man, it ended up with Grizz body slamming somebody and then diving off a ladder and smashing one of his other mascot friends. So, yeah, I'd say it worked out pretty good. It was a lot of fun, Brody. I'll have to show you the videos. T. Ward says, hashtag Lander Center. Yeah, there's a tag team partner for Memphis Wrestling. You know, even what about Mid-South Fair? What are these fair events? A Comic-Con. We can make our own Memphis Wrestling Con, which I own the website, by the way. So there's a lot of opportunities there. But when you book somebody with a price tag that's that big and you do not hit a home run, we could put you out. So can you send them to me? Do you have them? Yes, I do, Brody. I posted a picture of us last night with Grizz at his birthday. Tonight at FedEx Forum, 7 o'clock bell time, or should I say tip-off time, I'll be hosting along with my tag team partner, BLJ, and I hope that Sydney is back tonight, so our trio in action. Lots and lots of fun. If those of you who do not know, I host the Memphis Grizzlies basketball games, also do PA for their developmental team, the Memphis Hustle. And then I'm also the MC and PA over at the Memphis Redbirds. Oh, yeah, coming up very, very soon. Get those tickets. Come holler at your boy. Rico says, hey, Dustin, it doesn't matter who's on the card or who you book. This is still enjoyable to watch. Rico, I appreciate it. I honestly think that it's the stories. It's not necessarily the matches. And I know that Lurvy was talking about wanting, you know, longer matches. And sometimes you'll get longer matches, but then also it's only a 1-hour television program. So if you have a longer match and you bump somebody off, then that talent doesn't get TV time. So it's very important to continue all of those stories or else you guys might forget about it. And that's why we have the recaps in place. And that's why Terrence and I do our very best to tell those stories on commentary. So even if you're a brand new viewer, that you'll still be able to know exactly what's going on. Big shout out to Terrence for those highlight packages this week. And then also next week, just telling the full story. So, you know, you have Simon who spiked King Cobra at Christmas. Here we are in March, and we're just getting that payoff match. So telling the stories is the biggest part. I think even bigger than the matches a lot of times. Starlin says, does anyone know what happened to former WWE superstar Elijah Sparks? I think you mean Elijah Burke, perhaps. He's actually been on Memphis Wrestling, the Pope. So go check that out in the archive. Just type in the Pope and he'll come up. Patrick Moore, it wouldn't be worth it, Dustin. I'd understand. Willie says John Dalton should get his revenge on Reverend Arsehole Taylor and his phony righteous path. Glenn says lots of sponsors. Are you saying that Memphis Wrestling has lots of sponsors? We do have some very, very good tag team partners. Patrick Bell says Tarrant makes good video packages. I agree, the very best. Shout out to T Word, says Eddie Kane, Maine. Folks got to know there are hours of work that goes into each show. Yeah, so Terrence was going to have next week's episode done last night. Hits me up and he says, I'm two segments in, 2 out of 6. Things didn't quite go as planned. It takes a long time, ladies and gentlemen, hours and hours of work. So big shout out to Terrence Ward. I do some of the work myself, but that's expected. You know, But Terrence, man, he goes above and beyond every single time. Arturo says there's going to be a wrestling show in San Diego, California. Be in S Brewery, and I'm going to be dressed up all patriotic. I got a replica IWGP United States Championship belt to take. Sounds like a lot of fun, Arturo. I'm talking about booking the Hardys. Well, yeah, I mean, you as a promoter, I would have to know that you would never see the return on investment at the Wrestle Center with 100, a little over 100 seats. So, as Terrence said, we would need something like Lander Center or something much bigger in order to not only pay the Hardys, but then also make money off the Hardys. So, it doesn't mean that they're out. It just means you probably won't see them at the Wrestle Center. What do you think about Javon Evans? I don't know who that is. Help me out. Rico says, would you book former WWE superstar Elias? He kind of grown on me since he's not bad on the guitar. Yes, I would love to have Elias at Lafayette's. And we'll be back at Lafayette's Music Room in Memphis, in Midtown, coming up on Thursday, May the 9th. We're going to have some big announcements on the talent coming in for that. It was off the hook last time. But a bar atmosphere that's also a music room, I think, would be perfect for a guy like Elias. Arturo, thanks, Dustin. I'm glad I'm good friends with you, and I'm happy that I followed you on Instagram. Thank you, Arturo. Send me a message on Instagram. I'll follow you back. Star Lynn, my uncle is a tag team champion down here in Texas. Very, very cool. Patrick says, so that's why they don't always air right away. That's why they don't always air right away. Not sure what that means, Patrick. Willie says, Dustin, what happened to the match with Big Swole, Justin Cole, and Cruel? That match happened. It happened. Cruel was the victor, so go back and check that out. Big Swole versus Cruel. I think the question here is, will the gun show be ready for week 3 of SUPERBOUT, trying to reclaim his Memphis Heritage Championship that was taken by the monster Cruel and by Brooklyn? Media M5 says Memphis Wrestling, yes, with the Hardys, you need a bigger venue. Hardys can cost north of $6,000. That was the cost on the cheap years ago from them as a so-called discount. Yeah, I think they're $8 a piece, but I only say that because you said 6. What's up, kids? How are you? Chris Shelby, I got a couple more minutes, guys. Chris Shelby, great show, Dust. I really enjoyed it, and you and Terrence do a great job, including the wrestlers at Memphis Wrestling. I really appreciate that. Thank you, man. We're doing our very best. We're probably not everybody's flavor of ice cream, but we try to be. Arturo says you're welcome. Thank you, man. Kid says I'm sure they have I'm actually working security for a wrestling event in Jacksonville, Florida. Awesome. Referring to the wrestling tapings. Okay, yeah, gotcha. What's up, Ken Terminated? How are you? What do y'all of NWA? I'm not sure what that means. Ken Terminated, what's going on? All right, I got just a couple more minutes here, guys, and then I got to start getting ready for the Memphis Grizzlies here tonight. Willie's in the house. Arturo, what about the Hollywood Click? Would I have to beat up Van Vicious? Yeah, you'd probably have to beat up Van Vicious. Hey, I'm going to tell you, man, Van Vicious is a tough dude. He might be a jerk and all that kind of stuff, a little silly sometimes, siding with Hollywood Jimmy, but he's a tough guy. All right, guys. Well, if you're watching this at a later time and I'm no longer live, you can still put your questions in the comments. I'll do my best to go back and review those. If you missed Memphis Wrestling today, you absolutely have to go back and watch it. SUPERBOUT Week 1. SUPERBOUT 3, week 1 of 3, 2 championship matches and big grudge matches. It was a very, very good episode. Like I say, it was just a shame of some of the outcomes and some of the things that happened. Terrence is right here. Van has been there since day 1. Ken Terminated, have a good weekend. Willie Bowen says, what's your opinion on NWA Power on the CW? I think they're being very misleading. I'm a fan of NWA. I have friends over there. But if you are on the CW app, you need to specify that you are on the CW app. You cannot pretend that you're on the CW network when you're not on the CW network. For instance, we're not on WMC Action News 5. We're on WMC Action News 5 Plus, and we're never misleading about that. We always tell you, but I really feel like the NWA is misleading on that, and I don't think that they need to be. The CW app is very powerful worldwide. But, yeah, I just hate how they're kind of spinning that. Media M5, Dustin, thanks for all. Have a kick-ass weekend. You too, man. Eddie Kane, man. Oh, yeah. Love it, brother. Thank you so much. Patrick says, I'm excited. I may be appearing at Memphis Wrestling. Come on, man. Starlin, shoot. I meant, what do y'all think of NWA? I think I just told you I love the NWA. I just think it's kind of silly how they're acting like just being very vague about where their programming is. Brian says, have a killer week, Dustin. Can't wait for next week's show. Me too. I cannot wait to watch that. Terrence, get on it, brother. Ken Terminated said, Dustin, thank you for inviting Haley J. She was the beauty and the talent. She was something else, I'll tell you that. Arturo says, come visit me at San Diego for Comic-Con and in Christmas time in December, Disneyland. Hopefully I'll get back out to California at some point this year and do some TV. Keith says, haven't seen MJF in AEW. Is he injured? I think so. All right, guys, if you missed Memphis Wrestling, go check it out. You want to see us live, memphiswrestling.tv. Cowboy James Storm, the Murder Hog Monster Lance Archer, and Reality of Wrestling champion Will All Day, along with the Gun Show, K Toomer, Mike Anthony, Psycho Simon, King Cobra, Cassandra Golden, MKZ, Tim Bosby, the Problem Child. I'm naming them all off. They're all going to be there next Sunday. Get your tickets at memphiswrestling.tv. Use the code word Archer at checkout. You'll save $5. Next, I'm going to see you tomorrow at Dave & Buster's for AEW Revolution. And I'll see you guys next week right here on YouTube. Until then, I am Dustin Starr saying thank you for watching Memphis Wrestling, and so long, everybody. Patrick, you can come over anytime, brother. I'm Arturo saying good fight and good night. Whoop that trick. See you next week. I'm just reading all you guys' stuff. Holla. Holla, holla. See you later.